Welcome everyone. Today you're going to discover the full story of Costco. How a simple warehouse became a global empire built on honesty and trust. This story will not only inspire you, but it will also help you improve your English through real storytelling, clear sentences, and powerful vocabulary. Along the way, you'll learn about business, leadership, loyalty, and why millions of people around the world love Costco. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe for more stories that grow your mind and your English. Let's begin. Chapter 1: The Birth of an Idea. The story of Costco doesn't actually start with Costco. It begins much earlier with a man named Saul Price. Saul Price was a lawyer from San Diego. He didn't come from a rich family, but he had a strong sense of justice and fairness. He believed that business should not be about tricking people. It should be about honesty and value. Saul founded a store called FedMart. It was one of the first stores in the United States to use a membership model. Customers had to belong to a specific group, such as government workers, to shop there. But FedMart was more than just a discount store. It was a revolutionary idea. There was no fancy advertising, no unnecessary decorations, just bulk products sold at low prices inside a warehouse. It looked unusual, but it worked. FedMart grew quickly and people loved it. But years later, after Saul lost control of the company, he left and decided to start something even bolder. He created a new store called Price Club in San Diego, California. This was the true beginning of the model that would later become Costco. Price Club was unlike anything else at the time. The store operated inside a converted airplane hangar. Products were sold in bulk, meaning very large quantities. Customers had to pay a membership fee to shop. There were no ads, no decorations, no music, just concrete floors, metal shelves, and large packages of useful items. What shocked the retail industry was that Price Club sold products almost at cost. The company made very little profit on the products themselves. Instead, it earned money through membership fees, not by overcharging customers. At first, Price Club was created mainly for business owners, small restaurants, offices, and local shops that needed bulk supplies. But something unexpected happened. Everyday families began asking for memberships too. They wanted lower prices, bigger savings, and a no-nonsense shopping experience. Saul Price agreed, and the business exploded in popularity. At the same time, a young man named Jim Sinegal was building his career in retail. He had started working at FedMart, the same company Saul Price founded. Jim was humble, hardworking, and deeply inspired by Saul's values. He believed in treating customers fairly, keeping prices low, and respecting employees. Jim spent years learning every detail of ethical warehouse retail. He later worked at Price Club as well, gaining even more experience. In the early years of the decade, Jim met a wealthy businessman from Seattle named Jeff Brotman. Jeff had vision. Jim had experience. Together, they were about to create something massive. They opened the very first Costco warehouse in Seattle, Washington. The store was built on the same core ideas as Price Club, but with a few important changes. Costco allowed both businesses and individual customers to become members. It carried fewer products than traditional stores, focusing only on the best quality at the lowest prices. Everything was designed to be efficient, clean, and fast. Costco was not created by marketing experts. It was built by people who believed in fairness, logic, and long-term loyalty. The shopping experience was simple. Concrete floors, industrial shelves, bulk packages, free samples, friendly staff who were paid better than average, and no advertising at all. At first, some customers didn't understand the concept. But those who walked inside saw the savings and never looked back. The first warehouse was a success, and the company began expanding carefully across the western United States. Growth was slow but strategic. Jim Sinegal believed that every detail had to be right before opening a new location. His mindset was simple: we are not trying to be the biggest. We are trying to be the most trusted. Meanwhile, Price Club was still operating successfully, but it eventually faced management and financial challenges. Instead of becoming competitors, Costco and Price Club made a bold decision. They merged. The two companies combined under the name Price Costco. It was a perfect match. The same values, the same vision, and the same business model came together. Together, they operated hundreds of warehouses, employed thousands of workers, and served millions of members. But merging two companies was not easy. There were differences in leadership styles, systems, and long-term strategies. Eventually, the two sides separated peacefully. The Price family went on to create a different international business, while Costco became a single unified brand. Soon after, the company officially changed its name to Costco Wholesale Corporation. This was more than a rebranding. It was a message to the world that Costco would grow under one clear identity and one leadership vision. Costco streamlined operations, created unified buying systems, trained managers under one philosophy, and prepared for national expansion. By this point, major retailers dominated the market with thousands of stores and non-stop advertising. Costco chose a different path. It opened new warehouses slowly, focused only on high-performing locations, used data instead of hype, and planned every store carefully. Almost every new location became profitable within a year, something extremely rare in retail. Inside a Costco warehouse, shoppers saw tall shelves, bulk quantities, limited product choices, fast checkouts, and free samples. There were no banners, no sales signs, no music, just a quiet, honest shopping environment. Costco expanded internationally while keeping its core values unchanged. It studied local cultures, trained local employees, and adjusted only what was necessary, never the principles. The company faced competition, criticism, and economic pressure. But it survived because it stayed consistent. Prices stayed low. Quality stayed high. Employees stayed loyal. Members kept renewing. By the end of this chapter, Costco was no longer just a store. It had become a trusted brand, a community, and a company with a clear soul. And this was only the beginning. But Costco stayed calm. It didn't rush. It didn't panic. It didn't try to be trendy. Instead, it focused on the same four pillars it had always believed in: low prices, high quality in bulk, member loyalty, and honest business. During this decade, Costco would face its biggest test, surviving the Great Recession, the worst global economic collapse since the Great Depression. Let's walk through the major decisions and moments from this era. In the early years of the new century, Costco wasn't trying to dominate headlines. It was doing what it always did best: opening warehouses one at a time, studying customer habits, building long-term relationships with suppliers, improving the member experience, and ignoring the noise around it. But retail was changing fast. Walmart was growing aggressively. Amazon was becoming a serious online threat. Target was attracting middle-class shoppers with strong branding. Sam's Club, Walmart's warehouse chain, was trying to compete directly with Costco. Still, Costco had something the others didn't: real trust. Costco is not known for flashy innovation, but during this period it made smart, quiet improvements that helped it grow without losing its identity. One major focus was the expansion of Kirkland's Signature. The private label brand had already existed, but now it grew into wines, organic foods, clothing, health supplements, baby products, and even luxury items like its famous French vodka. Shoppers quickly learned that the Kirkland name meant premium quality without a premium price. Kirkland was no longer just a store brand. It became a symbol of smart shopping. Costco also expanded its services. Pharmacies offered affordable generic medications. Optical centers provided reasonably priced glasses and eye exams. Gas stations near warehouses offered cheaper fuel for members. These additions made the membership far more valuable and gave people more reasons to visit regularly. Another part of Costco culture became legendary: the food court. Affordable pizza slices, chicken bakes, churros, soft-serve ice cream, and especially the hot dog and soda combo became traditions. People shopped in bulk, enjoyed a cheap meal, and went home happy. Throughout this period, Jim Sinegal remained CEO, and his leadership style never changed. He walked warehouse floors unannounced, checked prices by hand, inspected cleanliness, and spoke directly with employees and customers. He continued to take a modest salary, refused large bonuses, and showed no interest in becoming ultra-wealthy. While other retail executives earned enormous compensation packages, Jim believed that if he took more, someone else, a worker or a customer, would get less. That attitude created deep loyalty, not only among employees but among members as well. Costco also expanded further internationally. Its presence in Japan grew steadily. South Korea became one of its most loyal markets. Operations expanded across Taiwan, the United Kingdom, and Mexico. Each country brought unique challenges, different shopping habits, cultural expectations, packaging sizes, and languages. But Costco succeeded where many companies failed. It respected local cultures, learned from customers, and stayed honest with pricing. Then came the turning point. The global economy collapsed. Banks failed. Millions lost their jobs. Housing markets crashed. Spending slowed everywhere. For most companies, this was a nightmare. For Costco, it was a moment of truth. During the economic crisis, people needed lower prices, basic necessities in bulk, and a company they could trust. Costco delivered all three. While luxury retailers struggled, Costco warehouses stayed busy. Families relied on affordable groceries, lower pharmacy prices, fuel savings, and better value than traditional stores. Membership renewals remained strong. Employees were not laid off. And the famous hot dog combo stayed the same price. There was a moment that perfectly captured Costco's values. When an executive suggested raising the price of the hot dog, Jim Sinegal refused. Instead of charging customers more, Costco improved efficiency and built its own production systems to control costs. It wasn't about food. It was about trust. While many retailers saw declining revenue, Costco continued to grow. Membership loyalty stayed high. Employee turnover remained low. Investor confidence returned faster than it did for most competitors. Wall Street often questioned Costco's approach. Why not raise prices? Why not cut wages? Why not chase higher short-term profits? Costco's answer was simple, because it was the right thing to do. Instead of focusing on quarterly earnings, Costco focused on long-term relationships, employee loyalty, ethical margins, and word-of-mouth growth. By the end of this decade, Costco had survived massive economic disruption, strengthened its identity, and proven that honest business still works. While others chased speed and greed, Costco showed the power of patience, discipline, and service. Chapter 3. A New Era: Costco After Sinegal. As the next decade began, Costco was larger than ever. Hundreds of warehouses operated worldwide. Tens of millions of members trusted the brand. Annual revenue had reached historic levels. Then something major happened. Jim Sinegal stepped down as CEO. After decades of humble leadership, hands-on involvement, and building a culture of integrity, Jim passed the responsibility to the next generation. Many people wondered whether Costco could continue without him. The new CEO was Craig Jelinek, a quiet leader who had worked at Costco for decades. He understood operations, culture, and values deeply. He wasn't flashy or media-driven. He believed in the same principles Jim had taught. This wasn't a change in direction. It was a continuation. Jim remained involved as an advisor, while Craig guided the company into a new retail era. That era brought new challenges. Online shopping exploded. Amazon dominated e-commerce. Mobile apps became essential. Fast delivery became the standard. Traditional retailers began collapsing. Shopping malls disappeared. Costco faced a critical decision. Change everything or stay true to its identity. Its answer was simple and powerful. Adapt without selling its soul. Costco invested carefully in online growth. It expanded its website, delivery services, digital pharmacy tools, and mobile apps. But it avoided gimmicks, fake urgency, and aggressive advertising. Most sales still came from physical warehouses because customers trusted the in-store experience. Costco expanded its services further: cheaper fuel, affordable healthcare products, travel packages, rental cars, and hotel deals. Many families realized they saved more through Costco than the cost of the membership itself. One product became legendary during this era: the rotisserie chicken. When costs rose, Costco didn't raise prices. Instead, it invested in its own supply chain to control quality and cost. This decision reflected Costco's long-term mindset. It wasn't about chicken. It was about control, trust, and consistency. Over the years, Costco expanded globally into new markets, strengthened the Kirkland signature brand, and continued growing steadily without shortcuts. It avoided mass advertising. It avoided manipulation. It avoided fake sales. Prices remained honest. Employees continued to be paid well. Members stayed loyal. Costco didn't grow the fastest. It grew the smartest. And through all the change, one thing never changed: trust. Costco continued to pay its employees better than the industry average. It offered full benefits even to part-time workers, promoted from within, and built a culture of loyalty and pride. While retail became known for low wages and high turnover, Costco became a place where people stayed for years, even decades. Many employees built entire careers there. When the world entered its next major crisis, that loyalty became more important than ever. As the global pandemic spread, Costco once again faced a moment of truth. Panic buying swept across the world. Warehouses were overwhelmed. Essential items disappeared from shelves within hours. Costco responded calmly and responsibly. It placed limits on purchases to prevent hoarding. It protected employees with safety equipment and extra pay. It refused to raise prices during fear and uncertainty. It expanded delivery and pickup options. Communication remained clear and steady. Costco also provided additional hourly pay and bonuses for frontline workers, and made sure no employee lost benefits during the crisis. While many companies laid off staff, Costco protected its people. Once again, the message was clear. In every crisis, we stand by our employees. Over this decade, Costco changed leadership, entered the digital world, expanded globally, survived a global pandemic, and earned the trust of nearly 100 million paying members. It did all of this without chasing hype, abusing workers, cheating customers, or selling its soul. Costco proved that you can evolve without becoming fake. Chapter 4: Why Costco Works. Lessons from the most trusted retailer in the world. If Costco's success could be summarized in one sentence, it would be this: do the right thing, even when nobody is watching. This simple principle guided every decision Costco made, from pricing and hiring to store design and global expansion. The business model is not complicated. It is not driven by greed or manipulation. It is built on trust, logic, simplicity, and consistency. Let's break down the key lessons Costco teaches us. In business, leadership, and life. Price versus trust. Most retailers use psychological tricks, fake discounts, inflated prices followed by pretend sales, endless limited-time offers. Costco refuses to play that game. Instead, it follows a capped margin pricing system. Prices stay low, and profit comes mainly from membership fees, not product markups. This creates safety for customers. They know they're not being fooled, and that kind of trust takes years to earn. Simplicity wins. Most supermarkets overwhelm shoppers with endless choices. Costco does the opposite. It offers only a few carefully selected options for each product. Fewer choices mean lower costs, faster shopping, and better prices. And because everything is curated, customers trust that if a product is sold there, it's worth buying. Shopping becomes simpler, faster, and less stressful. Kirkland Signature. The power of private trust. Kirkland Signature is not a cheap store brand. It is premium quality at a fair price, often made by the same manufacturers behind famous global brands. People buy Kirkland not for the label, but for the promise behind it. When trust comes first, branding becomes secondary. Employees come first. In many retail companies, workers are underpaid and overworked. Costco flips this model. Higher wages, benefits for part-time staff, promotions from within, paid time off, healthcare, and retirement plans create a workforce that is loyal and proud. The result is smiling faces, knowledgeable employees, and service that can't be forced. Culture isn't what a company says. It's how people are treated every day. Members, not customers. Costco doesn't sell to shoppers. It serves members. People pay to join, renew year after year, and feel part of something smart and fair. They stay because they see real savings, feel respected, and trust the system. Costco doesn't push sales. Proves its value every time you walk through the door. No advertising, no manipulation. Costco spends almost nothing on traditional advertising. No loud commercials. No aggressive online campaigns. Instead, it relies on experience, consistency, and word of mouth. People talk about Costco because they love it, not because they're told to. Trust spreads faster than ads ever could. Values over shortcuts. Costco refused shortcuts that many competitors accepted. It said no to fake promotions, cheap labor, data manipulation, panic pricing, and flashy distractions. Every time the world changed, Costco asked one question: can we adapt without breaking our values? Most of the time, the answer was yes. That's why Costco has survived every crisis, every market shift, and every competitor. Today, Costco operates hundreds of warehouses across multiple countries. It generates massive revenue, employs hundreds of thousands of people, and serves over 100 million members worldwide. But the most important thing it has built cannot be measured on a spreadsheet. Trust. Costco's story is not just about retail. It is a lesson in long-term thinking. They didn't chase trends. They stayed focused. They didn't add complexity. They chose simplicity. They didn't break promises. They stayed consistent. They didn't chase ego. They delivered value. They put people first and profit followed. This mindset applies beyond business. Be honest. Don't fake success. Be simple. Focus on what matters. Be consistent. Show up the same way every day. Treat people well. Respect always wins. Play the long game. Build something real. Whether you're a student, entrepreneur, artist, or language learner, Costco proves that you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You just have to be honest and excellent. Costco was never meant to be glamorous. It wasn't flashy or trendy, but it became a global icon, a business case study, an employee haven, and a symbol of ethical capitalism. It became a place where people don't feel like customers, they feel like family. In a world that changes constantly, Costco stayed true to itself. And that made all the difference. This is the full story of Costco, from humble beginnings to a lasting global legacy. If you enjoyed this story and learned something valuable, share it with others. And remember, greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it looks like a simple warehouse.